Vickerville, Crush's idiot. You said he was Canadian, so I'm trying to work that into. You're giving me a
got it. Sure.
He uses syrup type Pokemon. What's up, Fic Lickers?
It's episode 2, Fanfiction Theater Podcast. I'm Tristan.
And I'm also Tristan.
And that's Kitty.
And who is Tristan? We'll never tell.
All right, we're going to keep this intro short compared to the last one, but you're about to hear episodes 2 and 3 of Ultimate Betrayal, Sweet Revenge. Then we're going to get into part 1 of the Faerie Wars I, The Six Kingdoms, which is a Neopets fanfiction that was featured in the Neopian Times. So, kind of a big deal.
Now, I take issue with this episode, and not a Neopian Times issue, a real issue. The author seems to believe that they can just call any fairy leader the Fiora, as if it wasn't somebody's actual name. So where all my Neopet heads at out there, stand up and proclaim that Fiora is just one particular person, not a title.
Right. In today's Neopia, the Neopia that we know and love, Fiora is the name of a fairy. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, she's the fairy queen. Oh my God, Neopets heads, I need you. Back me up on this.
I think if we were to read Faerie Wars 2, perhaps more, after some number of Faerie Wars, I think we would get to some sort of reveal that Fiora turned into a person.
Oh, that's right.
A position.
Yeah, that's right. We didn't actually finish reading this one, did we?
No, we will abandon it after about 5 chapters, but we had fun with it while we had it.
Yeah. Just, for you Neopets heads out there, just know that that's coming, and you might grit your teeth a little bit like I did. Apologies in advance for me shouting at this fanfic constantly. I hope you still enjoy it.
So it's less shouting and more you were in the chat. Just
shouting,
filling the chat with angry comments.
It's a good thing these podcasts can show that to everyone in the audience. Everyone in the audience can see how upset I was because they can read the chat, right?
Yeah.
Tristan, right? Oh no.
All right, let's get into it.
Let's freaking do it. Dead Chia lives on. Rise up.
Let's get to this time skip.
Should we just go right into it here?
Oh, yeah.
Boy.
Part 2.
Part 2. 15 years later... should I say the title? Ultimate Betrayal, Sweet Revenge, Part 2. 15 years later, Ash and his friends were loving their new lifestyle. Ash had expanded his Pokemon team and conquered Silverhood, making him the official guardian of Mount Silver. He and Serena had started dating and then gotten married 5 years after the betrayal, and now he had 2 daughters. Fraternal twins named Sapphire and Jade were just a few months shy of their 11th birthday. Clement and Bonnie acted as their royal advisors, while Paul, Trip, Gary, Georgia, Burgundy, Sawyer, Shauna, Tierno, Trevor, Marin, and Elaine acted as their ambassadors. Ash, since Professor Oak had framed him for using Pokemon in sacrificial rituals... Was that? Wow. Professor Oak really did go hardcore there.
Okay, yeah. He said he didn't like what he would do to him.
Yeah.
Interesting that it's just a footnote in the story here.
Also, they framed him, which kind of implies to me that Professor Oak sacrificed some Pokemon.
Right. Oh, God.
Right. And framed Ash for it. Yeah, that's brutal.
So since Professor Oak had framed him for using Pokemon in sacrificial rituals, and they'd saved the Fireside Girls, had to remain hidden away in the mountains. Ash's journey to becoming a Pokemon master couldn't have been going better. In addition to the Pokemon who had stayed loyal to him when he was betrayed, he had also been reunited with Goodra, Pidgeot,
No.
Butterfree, and Lapras. Goodra had also come with Florges. Not long after they had returned, he was surprised to be joined by some of the trader's Pokemon.
Here we go again.
I'm just going to go through them, but if I screw one up, just yell.
Just keep going.
Axew, Starmie, Piplup, Glad, Baneri, and Emolga.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Good
I
job.
think it's Gallade, but
I do too.
yeah.
And Pidgeot. But that was earlier.
Pidgeot.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought there was a Pidgeotto, so that's why I went with
There
the
is.
long O.
Yeah.
So it's Pidgeot, but Pidgeotto.
Yes.
Oh,
There's
Got it.
another Pokemon called
Yeah, there's 3
I
total.
will
There's Pidgey,
never-
Pidgeotto, and Pidgeot.
That will baffle me, but okay.
You too?
That's right. That's right. Here we go.
He asked in disbelief and suspicion.
What are you doing here?
Without you.
I wish to join you.
Yeah. I used to be able to play the introduction to Bullet the Blue Sky on the drums, and it was so much fun. Mewtwo, who had decided to join Ash's team as well soon after the betrayal, answered,
They don't agree with the trainer's actions and have turned their backs on them. And Galad wants me to tell you that he thinks Max is a spoiled brat and he regrets not having a long time ago.
leaving.
Regrets not living a long time ago. Pardon. Greatest apologies.
I see.
Ash mused. He held out his hand and said,
Well, in that case, welcome to the team.
oh, Christ. He had also acquired the legendary Pokemon Moltres, Mew,
It's Moltres. It's
God damn
based on Spanish trace.
Spanish?
That's,
Spanish. Gotta eat your Spanish.
I thought Moltre, like kind of a French name, so I was closer in what I thought, but I was like, no, it'll be simple.
Oh, I can't wait to see how you do the rest of these.
Moltres, Mew, Xerneas, Yveltas, Kyurem, Heatran, Uxie, and Zapdos, where free returns on shoes, in addition to the aforementioned Mewtwo. Believing it to be unfair to use legendary Pokemon in battle unless absolutely necessary, Ash kept those particular Pokemon in a special chain of Pokeballs around his neck like shark teeth. He usually relied on Greninja, Pikachu, Charizard, and Infernape for most of his battles, though he gave everyone a chance. However,
legendary Pokemon.
right. However, whenever he needed a boost of extra power, he would be sure to call on the legendaries. Now, in my continuation, I remember using those first 3, but I don't remember Infernape coming up any in the parts of this that I did read. I hope Infernape doesn't get killed. All in all,
We all hope that. We all hope that. I will be torn in half if Infernape.
If anything
'Cause
happens to my beloved Infernape.
You know, this is all new to me because I didn't actually come in until like what, chapter 4 or 5 maybe. So it's like,
Gotcha.
yeah. So, and I don't think the author would just forget about Infernape. So,
Never.
No.
all in all, Ash's team 15 years after the betrayal consisted of nearly every Pokemon known to civilization. I will now list them.
In order. Let's go.
Michael, there are like 700 or 800 now, maybe even 1,000 at this point.
I'm trying to think. What was it? BDG did that rap, and I could not even figure out where one word ended and the next began. So.
I love that rap.
They had all grown extremely powerful over the years and could take on any opponent, no matter the type advantage or disadvantage. He had even figured out how to overcome immunities. Serena had added to her team as well. Her Braixen had evolved into Delphox, and Pancham had evolved into Pangoro. She had also caught an Espion Avalug, Beertic, Jolteon, Unfeasant, Superior, Gogoat, Heracross, and Zebstrika.
Beartic and... Oh, sorry. Beartic, and the other one was... Unpheasant. Like unpleasant.
Unpheasant. Oh, that makes... Yeah, that
and it looks like
okay.
a pheasant.
I thought it was like unfazed, so... okay. Clement, meanwhile, had acquired an Electivire?
I'm not
Keep
sure.
going, just keep going.
I think it's fire.
Flareon, Surskit, Blastoise, Arcanine, and Salamence. Bonnie's old friend Squishy had returned to her, and she had caught a Vaporeon, Snorlax, Gengar, Dragonite, Tyranitar, Altaria, and Marowak. Sapphire and Jade technically only...
I heard you, like, at the same time, we both were like, like, you were so close, you almost got them all. The last one was Marowak, like bone marrow, Marowak.
What did I say? Marowak?
Morrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're great.
Sapphire and Jade technically only owned a Pichu and Bulbasaur, but their parents' Pokemon were always willing to listen to their commands.
A Bulbasaur?
Now,
Pokemon, read them all.
It is correct. You just got to read it in a different accent.
Yeah.
Now, Ash looked over the mountain, gazing in the direction he knew Kanto to be in. He wondered what his ex-friends would think if they saw him now. Ash smirked to himself. They'd either faint from shock or explode with rage, especially when they found out just where their precious Pokemon had gone. Well, soon he would get to find out the answer to that question. He just answered it. He seemed to know very distinctly, okay. As the official guardian of the mountain, Ash was allowed to organize the tournaments of Silverhood. It just so happened that, 2 days from now, the traders would be arriving to compete in the Silverhood League tournament. He had invited them as a part of his revenge plan now. All they had to do was wait. And the best part was, they couldn't try to drag him off to prison for a false conviction since, as the guardian of Mount Silver, he was the law.
Is that how...
I am the law.
That, like, when you become the Pokemon gym leader, you just get
just
immunity to all legal systems?
Apparently so.
That's the way I've been taught.
Yeah, those were amendments made by Dick Cheney, and now he has too many powers, and you can't touch him.
There were some slight alterations to continuity made for this.
This is a Greninja.
Oh.
Okay, hold on.
Hold on here.
I'm focusing on the gray part of Ninja. So, great. Got it.
He's a frog ninja. The way I was doing him was kind of like this. I tried to make it a little bubbly.
Ash turned around to see Greninja standing behind him, holding a letter. It was the letter B.
Yeah.
Among other things, Ash had learned to use his aura to communicate with Pokemon.
Amazing.
Among other things, he can communicate with Pokemon in a few ways.
His water Pokemon especially.
No.
Hey, Greninja, what is it? Have I told you lately about how I am the ultimate and absolute law here?
Ash greeted his powerful water type.
So I was doing some special training with Delphox and Hawlucha.
Greninja began, looking a little apprehensive about something.
Yes.
Tristan looks a little apprehensive at that point.
Go on.
Thanks for saying that. I would have just stood here.
And I want to be clear when I said special training.
Ash prompted.
and I saw a group of people walking into the Pokemon Center.
The frog ninja.
It's the alien in the skin suit in Men in Black.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing. Okay.
Yeah.
The frog ninja Pokemon continued. I love these descriptions.
Yeah.
All right, but where are you going with this?
Well, remember how you're the absolute law? Just let me tell the damn story, Ash. Stop interjecting.
Ash asked, a little confused.
Well, it seems that a certain number of imbecilic morons have arrived a little earlier than expected for the tournament.
Greninja.
Oh, wait a minute. Who is that? Wait a minute. Sorry, Reggie. Now I'm Nick Nolte. All right.
I like it
he's Nick
better.
Nolte now.
But, yeah.
I think it's a little deeper, just like that, just deeper. Like,
That's indiscernible.
That's-
We all got a bed in all this mess. I'm Nick Nolte.
Okay, Greninja replied sheepishly. Ash closed his eyes, knowing full well who Greninja was talking about.
Joe Mama.
Arceus, damn it.
Because Arceus is God. I get it.
yeah.
oh yeah,
It's so awkward.
beautiful.
Just rolls off the tongue.
Arceus, damn it.
I thought it was Arceus. Whatever.
Is it Arceus? I don't know.
I think it is Arceus.
Thank you, Misha.
Arceus, damn it.
Arceus.
Arceus, maybe?
Oh, Arceus.
Where are they now?
Where are they now? Let's find out tonight. Also,
Those
if
imbecilic morons, where are they now?
if he's God, then like Latin for God is Deus, so like Arceus makes. Oh well. Anyway, he asked wearily, sighing.
Perfect. And this day has started off so great. Oh well, I guess it means that it's almost time for the revenge to begin.
He thought to himself, as opposed to someone else. That's a question. If I don't know much about the game, but like if he has psychic type Pokemon, can he talk to them with his mind? Is that one of his psychic powers?
I mean, not in the game or
that
anything, but
Ever addressed in the TV show?
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, actually.
Oh, Greninja time.
Right this way.
Greninja said, turning and leading him away from the edge of the mountain. Was he just on the edge of the mountain?
Yeah.
Ash followed the frog ninja Pokemon into the Pokemon Center he had built with his friend's help. Once they were inside, he saw a sight that made his blood boil with rage. Serena was there, looking as though she were ready to kill. Clement and Bonnie were scowling. Paul, Gary, and Trip all had murderous looks on their faces. Barry was glowering angrily, and Georgia and Burgundy were sneering. Tierno, Trevor, and Shauna had icy look. Oh my god.
We're going through the stars here and list of names. Like,
Billy
this
was
is
doing
awesome.
a little dance. Sharon was checking her phone.
And the girl in the corner said, "Boy, I gotta warn you."
It's like that cake song. And Shauna had
Which
icy
one?
looks on their face, and they were all in love with blah 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 blah. That's somebody else.
That's someone else. Yeah, that's
Is that Butthole Surfers?
Surfers,
It's
yeah.
Butthole Surfers. They were all in love with Diane. They were drinking from a fountain that was pouring like an avalanche coming down the mountain.
There you
was pouring like an Arceus.
Yeah.
Marin was
Pouring like an Obama
I-
snow.
What is going on?
Okay.
Marin was glaring, and Elaine's expression could have destroyed. Could have destroyed Arceus himself. But that wasn't what was causing Ash's rage. Seated on a couch with irritated and obnoxious looks on their faces were none other than Misty, Brock, Tracy, Dawn, Max, May, Iris, and Salon, otherwise known as the Traitors.
Done.
Ultimate Betrayal, Sweet Revenge, Part 3.
9 list of names. Let's go.
What are you doing here?
Ash snarled, glaring at the traitors with a look that would have sent even Arceus running for cover.
Okay.
Boy, everybody's looks are just Arceus.
Arceus is actually pretty fragile.
Mewtwo's over in the corner like, I am a psychic god who remade the world. What the hell? Pray to me. Sorry. Pray to... fuck, I lost my Irish accent there.
I thought you were going to do Batman.
Oh, it's me still. The traitors all cowered away in fear. Cowered away? All right. After a few moments,
wait,
I'm just
they were
like
seated on a couch.
Right.
Cowering
That's what I
away
was
in
like.
fear.
Yeah.
They're like trying to get under the cushions.
Yes. Cowering away in fear. As you
They're
do.
in the hide-a-bed now.
After a few moments, Max, who was either the bravest or stupidest member of the group, gulped and looked at Ash defiantly, or as defiantly as one could appear when their legs won't stop shaking.
Drew was Max.
Yeah, he's the little one. Except now it's 15 years later.
Oh,
Maybe he's gotten a little bigger.
we came to destroy you. My voice is still breaking.
Yeah.
Max stuttered out. Ash laughed in his face, and the 21-year-old backed away fearfully.
You destroy me? I'd like to see you try.
The raven-haired trainer said contemptuously. Misty spoke up next, having gotten over her fear of her ex-friend.
Oh, please! Any of us could beat you without even trying!
So, just to be clear, she used to be terrified of a 6-year-old?
Yeah.
10-year-old.
No, he wasn't 6.
3.
If this is 15 years later and he's 21 years old...
No, Max is 21 years old. She's
Yeah.
talking about Ash. She used her fear of her friend.
For whatever reason, I was thinking this is somebody replying, so it must be from Ash's side. But you're right. Got it. She sneered.
You're still just a weak, pathetic trainer.
Ash rose his eyebrows.
Oh, am I?
Good comeback.
Good
10
one.
out of 10.
Nailed it.
He inquired dryly.
Nuh-uh.
Well, I'd love to prove you wrong, but unfortunately, as the ruler of this mountain, I have a rule that no one is allowed to battle me without first beating every single one of my royal court. And yes, that includes my daughters, Sapphire and Jade here.
Dawn opened her mouth.
10-year-olds.
Dawn opened her mouth to protest, but Ash cut her off.
But
He continued.
I suppose if you're so insistent on destroying me, I could make an exception. Or inception.
Or an incision.
Which one of you will I be battling first?
The traitors looked a little taken aback.
Oh, I'll go first.
Max answered. Ash shrugged indifferently.
Fine then. What are the rules?
I just realized I overlooked that about this tournament.
Just 15 years on a mountain learning about Pokemon. It's like, oh, wait, how do you play?
Wait, do I get 6 or 12 cards? I can't remember. He asked. This is Max, right?
Okay, yeah.
One Pokemon each.
The bespectacled man decided.
Very well, one each. Waterflower, you can be the judge.
Ash ordered, not looking Misty in the eye. Misty's.
Is Misty Waterflower?
Yep.
That seems like a weird pet name to use on someone who betrayed you.
Yeah.
That's her last name.
Is it?
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that's how she became a water... I mean, it's like, you know... Like Brock's last name is like probably like Doctorston or something, you know?
Or
No.
Or like
Sorry.
Brock
Sampson.
Yeah.
Flirtson.
Yeah,
Misty
there it is.
scowled, but Misty scowled, but went to stand next to Ash and Max all the same.
The one-on-one Pokemon battle between Max Maple and Ash Ketchum is about to begin.
Oh, so Max must be Canadian, right? She said, a faint sneer in her voice as she pronounced Ash's name.
The battle will end when...
Yeah, everyone knows the rules. Especially me. Now let's get on with it.
Ash interrupted. Sapphire and Jade snickered loudly.
Like that dog. That Hanna-Barbera dog.
Max, show me your strongest Pokemon right from the start.
Now, isn't it just one Pokemon only? So, like, right from the start, it's okay. All right.
I want to see the very best.
See, Misha, aren't you like drawn in by the struggle? Because it's like, who do you root for, right?
I
Because
know,
the morality.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Neither of them is really good, but neither of them is really bad. You know, it's all right.
Max?
Okay. You really are a glutton for punishment, Ketchum.
Max laughed confidently.
All right. It's power you want, then that's what you'll get. Vikavolt, crush this idiot. You said he was Canadian, so I'm kind of with that into. It's not, you're giving me a
Got it. Sure.
He was a syrup type Pokemon.
A beetle-like Pokemon with a large pair of mandibles appeared in front of Max. Okay, I was honestly a little shocked because I do remember that as much shit as everybody was giving the battles, I do remember that in this fanfic he does actually do a lot of Pokemon battles, which I appreciated, and I tried to carry on with my stuff even though it was less battle-oriented. Ash nodded and smiled, ready to finally give Max a taste of how powerful he had become.
If that's your most powerful, you're going to have to do better than that.
He called.
Greninja, you're up!
Greninja leaped forward to stand beside his trainer. Max and the other traders stared at them for a moment before bursting into laughter. Misty gasped out.
Do we have a Dawn?
A water Pokemon against an electric Pokemon?
Dawn snickered.
Iris, you're such a little kid.
Iris laughed, doubling over and clutching her sides. Greninja growled furiously at them, but Ash maintained his composure.
Let's do this, Greninja.
He said determinedly, the thrill of a Pokemon battle sparking his insides. Ooh. Unable to resist talking a little trash, he turned to his friends and family and added,
Sorry about this, guys. I promise this will only take a minute or two.
Max's eye twitched.
Don't be so sure about that, Ketchum.
He spat.
Remember, I have the type advantage. There's no way you could beat me.
Use Flapjack!
Well then, if you're already confident that you're going to win, I guess you won't mind if I take the first move.
Ash replied calmly.
Go ahead. It's not like it'll do any damage. I'll just be here drinking my Molson.
God, flirting in Pokemon is weird. Max laughed, folding his arms. Ash just ignored him.
Greninja, Water Shuriken at 10% power.
He shouted.
What? That's not going to do anything.
Max shouted, now looking a little...
It's not going to do anything! So weird to that thing. All right.
Yeah. Ash continued to ignore him.
Do it now!
He commanded.
With pleasure.
Greninja said, glaring at Vikavolt as he hurled a small shuriken at the electric beetle Pokemon. To the trader's shock, it knocked Vikavolt out in one blow.
Vikavolt is unable to battle! The winners of this match are Ash and Greninja!
Misty stammered, looking as though she'd just been hit over the head with a brick. Max recalled his fainted Vikavolt, looking furious.
Oh, this is Max? Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How is that possible? Greninja's a water type!
He roared.
Type advantages don't matter if the difference in power is too great.
Ash stated, a mocking tone in his voice.
I've raised all my Pokemon to levels you could only dream of ever achieving. Greninja could beat all of your Pokemon at once without breaking a sweat.
You bet I could.
Greninja agreed. The traitors looked furious.
Fine then, why don't you prove it?
Iris yelled, jumping to her feet.
All of our Pokemon against Greninja right now. Whoever wins gets a prize for winning, huh?
Ash said, raising his eyebrows.
Well, this is an unofficial match, and I don't bet on unofficial matches. But the tournament, How about this? If any of you manage to beat me in the tournament, I will allow you to turn me into the authorities.
He'll turn me into the authorities.
I thought he is the law, though.
Yes.
On the mountain, he's the ruler.
He felt the law and he called
authorities plural in every region.
Right.
For whatever false accusations you can think of, you will also become the official owners of the Silverhood region. However, if you lose, well, I think I'll let you find that out later.
Fine by us.
Misty said, shrugging.
So let's get on with it, shall we? Everyone, let's go!
Let's get it on.
Come on out, guys.
Iris yelled.
Ugh, if only Axu was here.
You're up, all of you.
Brock shouted. One by one, each of the traitors let out all of their Pokemon. Once it was all said and done, all told there were 26 Pokemon for Greninja to battle. However, Ash wasn't the least bit phased.
Let's go, everyone! Hydro Pump!
Misty yelled.
Just everybody, just throw them out. Flame charge.
Flamethrower!
Poison jab.
Poison jab! Hyper jet!
Razor leaf.
Flame!
Dynamic
Aqua
punch!
Jet.
Mach punch.
butt punch.
The traitors ordered their Pokemon to release their attacks all at once. Rather than combining for a one-hit knockout as they had no doubt been hoping, it simply made it that much easier for Greninja to dodge. He leaped high into the air, evade each and every one of the traitors' Pokemon's first attacks.
Now, Greninja, double team and then water shuriken at 8% power.
Double team? Okay. Ash ordered.
This is just too easy.
Greninja said, as several carbon copies of himself spread out across the temporary battlefield. Before any of the other Pokemon had time to react, a barrage of water shuriken attacks rained down upon them. When the dust had settled, it was revealed that Greninja had
in the water attack.
Right.
All right.
It was revealed that Greninja had indeed won the match.
What? How the hell do you do that, cheater?
Iris snapped. The others remained silent, seemingly too shocked to speak.
What a little kid.
Sapphire said snidely, using Iris's catchphrase on her. The self-proclaimed Dragon Master scowled at the little blonde-haired girl.
Watch your mouth, kid.
She snapped.
Who's Georgia?
Georgia.
She's right about you, you know.
Georgia remarked.
What would you know, Georgia?
Maybe you know Georgia. Maybe that's your specialty.
Yeah.
Iris said snippily.
Trip. Drew. Trip.
Evidently more than someone like you ever would.
Trip spoke up.
The Apostle Paul.
Hey, used to be Saul.
That's not really hard to do, though.
Paul added.
Paul is two people.
Everyone knows better than you assholes.
Ash watched the exchange with amusement before speaking up again.
Well, this has been great and everything, but I have more important things to attend to. I expect I'll be seeing you around later.
He said as he turned around and walked out of the Pokemon Center, flanked by Serena and Greninja with Pikachu perched on his shoulder. There was a brief moment of tense silence before Ash's family turned and followed him.
Well, see you later, Carrot Top, Snorlax Face, Dumber, green-haired monster, blue-haired bimbo, and pathetic little girl.
Jade said cheerfully, waving to the traders before she disappeared after her father.
Oh, we did it!
Legendary.
Yeah.
So this was this the entire story that hadn't been recorded up to this point?
No, there's so much more.
No, this is all that had not been recorded.
Sorry.
Yes. Oh, wait, I forgot to record.
Don't you dare.
No.
Don't even.
You will record this by yourself.
So, last Sunday, I was streaming Neopets Puzzle Adventure. Michael was in the chat for that, and he found us a epic fan fiction.
Oh, awesome.
So we're going to start with that. Faerie Wars I, The Six Kingdoms.
Oh, wait a minute. It's fairy, isn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Damn it. This is the worst part of Neopets is how they spell fairy. Bah! Also that your pets could starve.
Yeah.
So is this similar to the little the little gigapet or whatever, like the little keychain thing?
Boy, how would you describe it? You get stuff for them, you feed them.
There's a lot of Flash mini games on the site that you can play. Mm-hmm. Some of which involve
Tamagotchi,
your actual pet.
That's the one.
Tamagotchi was the first one. I remember hearing about that.
Oh yeah, we
had them. I also had a Digimon, and then I also had a Nano Fighter, which was where you took care of a full-grown wrestler.
There's no connotations there at all.
All right. Long ago, in very ancient times, the world of Neopia was a wild, dark, and dangerous place. The world was plagued by fearsome monsters, the most notable of which were the Wraiths. The Wraiths were the predominant reigning force in these times, and they were feared by all. These were the same Wraiths released by Xandra during the fall of Fairyland. Separate from the monsters and Wraiths were creatures known as fairies and Neopets. Fairies had not yet been united under one queen, whom we refer to today as Fiora, nor in fact was Neopia. In those days, fairies lived in small nomadic groups called tribes. You may have heard of them. Forced to forever wander, so the Wraiths would never know their location. Fairies and Neopets did not often interact, and there was much hostility and fear between them. Many fairies considered themselves above Neopets, who were still wild themselves, spending most of their time hiding from the Wraiths. Our story begins in these dark times, at the end of the days of the tribes. We find ourselves following the tale of two fairy sisters, Uriele and Nereza, who are as different as light and dark. While over time the Wraiths would be defeated, and fairies and Neopets would come to agreements and accept Neopia as the name of the world, The influence of Uriele and Nereza cannot be denied, for together they would shape the very foundation of the modern Neopia in which we live today. Indeed, without them, modern Neopia may very well have never existed at all. Ellie? The dark fairy searched the area around her, tightening her grip on her mother's hand. "Mother, where is Ellie?" she asked worriedly. "Nereza, please do not squeeze so hard," her mother, Demelza, scolded lightly. "I shall
Adverb 2.
Yeah. "You are far too old to hold it in any case." "But mother, Ellie..." She was silenced by the gentle smile her mother gave her. A gentle smile that cut her down. "We saw the Faerie, and she went to speak with her. You were not paying attention. Daydreaming again, I assume." Nereza wrenched her hand away and crossed her arms over her chest. "I was not," she murmured grumpily. She then realized what had been said to her and whirled on her mother. "Wait, Ellie is with the Faerie?" At last, Nereza spotted who she was looking for, and without a word she dashed away, ignoring her mother's calls for her to return. Her sister went around a corner, but Nereza caught up with her quickly. "Ellie!" The young light fairy turned around at the sound of her special nickname. The first thing she noticed was that her sister's beautiful black and blue hair was in slight disarray. "Nessie, what's wrong?" she asked, sincerely concerned. "You should not run off like that," Nereza scolded. "You know what could happen if you get lost." "I know, I am sorry, but I promise you I was being safe." "Nereza, Uriele." The sisters turned at the sound of their mother's voice. Okay. They glanced at each other as she approached, and both suppressed the urge to grin.
Okay, I am back. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, you sound a lot better.
I'm back. I will even, hell, turn on my damn camera. So if you want to put me on screen, feel free. It's not going to be that exciting. I do not have a bow tie, but...
Well, I've got welcome here then.
But I've got love for Neopets. So,
Tristan, don't put him on screen. You will never get back on. This is a coup.
Well, I control the screen, so I don't know how well that's gonna work, but
for now. All right. The adult air fairy stopped before them, hands on her hips, and sighed.
"You should know better than to run off like that,"
she chided, echoing her daughter's own words from a moment before.
"I know, Mother,"
said the dark fairy, bowing her head.
"My sincerest apologies."
The air fairy rolled her eyes and turned to her other daughter.
"Yuri, did you speak with the Faerie?" I did."
Uriele replied seriously.
"I needed to ask about a favor."
Her mother raised an eyebrow.
"A favor?"
"A sexual favor?" Uriele nodded.
"Yes, Nessie and I wanted to skip lessons tomorrow afternoon and to practice on our own in the fields." "Skip your lessons?"
Her eyes flicked to her eldest daughter.
"What is the meaning of this, Nereza?"
It is Nereza, by the way, even though they call her Nessie for short, which doesn't make any sense. But
yeah, what is the meaning of this, Nereza?
It's like the RZA, but with an extra.
I don't mean to contradict you, Michael, but I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Nebuchadnezzar.
That could be.
A lot of extra syllables.
It's short for Nebuchadnezzar Rasputin.
Okay.
The dark fairy's face colored.
What?
And and she looked away resolutely. How could she explain this to her mother? She didn't want to lie, as Uriel was doing. Nereza certainly did not want to skip her lessons, nor did she think it was wise for Uriel to do so either. But what else could she do? She didn't want to get her sister in trouble, but she herself would also have to face their mother's wrath if she couldn't come up with something clever quickly.
Marwan has told us that we are brilliant pupils and encourages us to study independently.
She lied.
We are not skipping our lessons, as Ellie put it.
Demelza did not seem entirely convinced, but she sighed and acquiesced.
Very well. Just be mindful of your surroundings. It is dangerous for two young fairies to go alone in the fields. They're in fields? I thought one of them turned a corner. What corners are there in the field?
They want to go to the field.
Turned a corn.
Oh. Right. With our magic?
Scoffed Uriel, smirking.
Any monsters out there best hope they do not meet us.
Their mother smiled. Sorry,
even with all that power, they would never even get a bite of that omelet, you know? It's like, Neopia is brutal.
What's that? I have no knowledge of Neopets.
Yeah, there was an omelet, and you could go there and get omelet while supplies lasted, and it was, like, impossible to get.
I want to make a joke about that, like, Popeye's, like, chicken thing.
The chicken. Go for it, man.
Sure.
Olivia brought up the soup thing, too. Okay, so we got a couple of Neopets, Neopetophiles out there. That doesn't sound. Their mother smiled weakly. Nereza did not smile. Look, all I know is that it's dangerous for two young fairies to go alone in the fields. Okay,
this was sure.
That was drilled into my head growing up in the Midwest in the in the 80s as well. So anyway, okay. Their mother smiled weakly. Nereza did not smile at all. Monsters.
She only smiles once a week?
Monsters were the very least of
Be Tuesdays.
But if she only smiles once a week, that would explain why it was so shocking earlier.
Yeah.
That makes sense, yeah. I think that was a 9 Days song back in the 90s.
What did you actually ask of Marwan?
Nereza asked the next day as they left the village boundaries. It was a chilly, wet morning, and both fairies wore thick, dark cloaks for warmth. Do they have wings?
I don't know.
All right. As they moved further away from their tribe, the feeling of uneasiness simmering in Nereza's stomach grew.
Oh, nothing,
her sister replied.
I told her that we were going to be missing our lessons because Mother was taking us out to gather mushrooms and roots.
Nereza stopped in her tracks.
You lied to the Fiora?
It sounds like a car, like the Nissan Fiora. Her blood ran cold. What were they doing? This was wrong. They should still be in their village where it was safe.
Yeah, that's a good question. We still are asking that. What are they doing?
Going out in the fields, I guess. Uriel shrugged nonchalantly.
You lied to Mother. That was completely different. I was trying to keep you from getting into trouble. And I thank you. Now come on, follow me. I want to show you something.
The Dark Fairy hesitated, but decided to go along, at least to ensure nothing bad happened to her sister. So, okay, they keep calling just Nereza the Dark Fairy. Did I miss something? If it's her family, are they not all dark?
Right, the other one.
No, there is different as light and dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
They did establish that Uriel is the light fairy.
All right, okay. Are they twins?
I don't know.
I have so many questions. Still, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were both walking into great danger. And when they were so far they couldn't see their village anymore, she felt certain she was right.
Ellie, let's go back,
she said earnestly.
It's not safe out here. Oh, stop it, Nezzy,
replied the light fairy.
You are too afraid of your own shadow. We're fine, see? For now.
I like that, like, I'm not being eaten at the moment, see?
Yeah.
Nereza insisted.
There are rules for a reason. You cannot just break them whenever it suits your fancy.
Uriel waved her hand dismissively.
You're a Madame Narf. The Scrat would break the rules of the night for that, Mr. Heap. Rules were meant to be broken. Now stop being so
All
negative.
this, and we're going to find out they're going cow tipping or something.
Yeah.
Though now more than a little vexed with her sister, Nereza kept her mouth shut and continued to follow behind. The fields took a downward turn, and eventually they came to a river. The fog lay heavier here, and the dampness hung on their cloaks. Uriel brought her hand out and created a shining ball of light, which broke through the mist and cleared their way. Nereza could see they were following the river into what appeared to be a forest. She suppressed the urge to turn and run back the way they had come, but she feared she would become lost, or that Uriel would befall some danger she could not face alone.
We have been walking for at least an hour. Do you not think our mother will become worried? God, they talk like M. Night characters. Mother is fine. Come, we have arrived at the Wood of Mystery. Just singular wood. One wood.
A wizard's... never mind. Nereza's eyes widened.
You have brought us to the edge of the Wood of Mystery during a fog and without any protection or help?
She was as livid as she was afraid. There could be wraiths in the forest.
Calm yourself, Nezzy. We're fine,
said Uriel with a smile. She lifted her fingers and raised the ball of light floating above them.
Besides, I am the most powerful magician in the tribe. No harm could possibly befall us while I am here. Morwen is the most powerful magician in the tribe,
Nereza corrected sharply.
Michael's probably a little confused at this point because he missed the beginning, but a tribe is like it's a group of people. They...
Thank you. I was a little lost.
Important.
They established it earlier.
That is why she is our teacher, not the other way around. How dare you imply otherwise?
Her sister scowled.
Very well,
she said.
I apologize for not including you among the tribe's most powerful magical practitioners. I didn't realize you would be so sensitive about it. That is not in the least what I said at all. Nezzy.
Uriel put her free hand on her sister's cloaked arm and looked into her eyes.
We should not be quarreling. And fret not, sister. Before long, Morwen shall retire and name us both the new village Fioras. We shall share the title, like you have always wanted. Will that not be well?
That not be well?
Wait, I don't...
How well
are you saying, won't it be good?
Really?
Very well. Mega well.
Soup's well. Totes well.
Nereza frowned.
LAF.
Morwen shall not retire for many years,
she replied flatly.
Possibly centuries.
Uriel sighed in exasperation.
We're gonna kill her, of course. I have brought you here to show you something by which I feel you will be quite impressed.
Oh, boy.
Oh, wow.
That technically makes sense.
Right.
A tad convoluted. Yet you tarry our time with senseless worries and semantics. Do you believe... I'm not sure about that one, but...
No.
Do not believe the longer we stay, the more, quote-unquote, danger we are in? If that is so, let us remain no longer and enter the wood, so I may show you why it is we have come. What is it that has captured your attention so thoroughly? I should pick it up and put it in my pocket to use in one of my lectures. That's a line from The Village, an actual line.
Oh, okay.
That M. Night got William Hurt to say.
And then he has it's a super wide shot so that he can say it before he reaches his destination on the other side of the screen. It's pretty amazing.
Hiking for a quarter mile to fit that line in.
The two fairies looked at each other for several moments, neither relenting until finally Nereza gave a heavy sigh.
Very well,
she murmured.
But let us hurry. I wish to stay not a moment longer than we must. Oh, wonderful.
The light fairy beamed as she linked arms with her sister. Nereza had to fight to keep from protesting as they entered the darkness of the forest. The sisters walked for a mere 10 minutes more before arriving at their destination. The way was much clearer with Uriel's ball of light. Seems like maybe Uriel should have done that earlier. And it was almost as if the fog was gone entirely. They entered a small meadow shrouded in mist, and Uriel closed both hands around her ball, then opened them to throw light into the air. It dashed the fog away and collected in the meadow's center, settling on the very thing Uriel wished to present to her sister.
Behold,
she said, smiling proudly as she held her arms out in gesture. All right. Nereza gasped. She did not know what to make of this horror. So this one's a little dry, but I gotta admit, I am curious to find out what the horror is.
Well, with all the fog and everything, I was hoping it was going to be a werewolf movie, but apparently not.
This episode of Fanfiction Theater was recorded in January 2022 and September 2020 on twitch.tv/Order of the League. We stream every Wednesday evening from 8 to 10 Eastern, 5 to 7 Pacific. While we currently do this on Twitch, we might switch to YouTube at some point, so you better follow us on both to be safe. Go to youtube.com/@fanfictiontheater to find edited videos and full VODs of our streams. And remember, that's theater with an R-E, not E-R, because it isn't a building where movies are shown, okay? It's the very art of theater. Fanfiction Theater is produced by the Order of the League and McQueen Creative, that's me. If you like what you hear, please consider supporting us at ko-fi.com/Tootle. That's ko-fi.com/TOOTL for the Order of the League. Music featured in this episode includes tracks by Beat Mechanic, Komiku, and Joe Wandrini. The Fanfiction Theater intro and outro music are by Visager. These tracks and most of the other sound effects and musical cues were sourced variously through the Free Music Archive, freesound.org, and Epidemic Sound. Ultimate Betrayal Sweet Revenge was deleted from fanfiction.net years ago, so we have chosen not to reveal the author's username. The Faerie Wars I, The Six Kingdoms was written by DrewDrop26. Thank you so much for listening, and remember, it all going a-corroding to plane.